Good, bad, I'm the guy with the YouTube figure reviews. Today on Outside the Box Reviews, we are taking a look at the Funko Pop Vinyl Pop Movie Series figure number 53, Ash from Army of Darkness. Here we have Ash, everybody's favorite amputee hero from the Evil Dead franchise, and another bit of weirdness here. This is credited as an Army of Darkness figure, but this look of Ash, while it is in Army of Darkness in the beginning, it's considered probably more tied to Evil Dead 2 than it is Army of Darkness. And maybe that's me being a horror nerd splitting hairs here, but the original concept images showed Ash with a streak of white in his hair, which is an Evil Dead 2 trademark that didn't show up in Army of Darkness. He just had straight black hair again in Army of Darkness. So I really do wonder if there's some kind of weird licensing rights that caused Ash to come out the way he did. And that's not limited just to this figure. Some of the other new horror figures in this line are coming out under weird movie sequels or whatever, and I'm not really sure what the reason for that is. But enough talking about the weird behind the scenes kind of stuff. Let's take a closer look at Ash. And this figure is just plain groovy. This is so cool. I love the little kind of Elvis-y looking hair on him, his nose. I don't know, something gave him the chiseled Bruce Campbell chin with still having that big bulbous pop vinyl head. Maybe I'm just seeing it because I'm seeing the character, but it works really well. I love his expressive eyebrows, a little tuft of hair coming down here, brings a lot to the head sculpt. He does have the little scratch on his cheek. Now that is also toned down from the original concept image. The original one, it was oozing a little bit of blood. Now it's just a red scratch, and a very dark red scratch at that. Coming down to his torso, we have his shirt ripped open. We have the straps coming around the chest to hold his holster, which ironically is not present. He just has nothing on his back. Makes sense. It would have been hard to put the holster on there with the head being so large, but what can you do? I like that his shirt is kind of half untucked back here. It's a very good look for Ash. They did a really good job capturing the character. All the buttons are detailed on here. The pockets sculpted in. His belt's done. He's got his pants going on. His shoes, which have the laces painted on, which is a really nice touch. Pockets sculpted on the sides and the back even. A lot of attention to detail. Even the silver buckles on here are sculpted. Very nice. In one hand we have his boomstick, looking very good, and his chainsaw arm. That's okay, because the blade of the chainsaw is coming off a kind of a weird angle. It's definitely an awkward angle that blade's at, but the paint on it is very nice, very cool. I really like it. Now, I do wish this Ash had some blood on him. I wish there was a bloody version, and going back to Funko's love of variants, I'm sure we'll probably see that at some point. But I really would have dug a very bloody Ash, bloody chainsaw, blood oozing here. The hero from the sky stripe in his hair would have been a nice touch as well, but this works just fine. Of course, like any pop vinyl, swivel in the head, it's all we've got, but very, very cool. So have you been collecting the horror pop vinyl figures? And at this point, I really do feel like they should have made it pop horror instead of pop movies, because they've done enough horror that it could almost be its own subcategory. But I think Ash is going to fit in really well. It's the first real hero we've had in that line, at least in the horror line, that doesn't really exist as a real line, but you know what I mean. Maybe Gizmo counts, maybe, but we almost have the monsters, and here we get a really awesome hero to go with it. And this is about as iconic Ash as you can get. This is, when you think of Ash, you got the chainsaw, the boomstick, the torn shirt. This is it. So very happy with this. Gonna give it a very solid recommend. He's not great, but he's good enough, and I'm happy with it. Now we are getting a Deadite warrior, but it's the very Army of Darkness skeleton Deadite, and that makes me wish even more that this had been Evil Dead 2. How awesome and gross would an Ed or a Henrietta have been as a pop vinyl? And just having a generic Deadite, not even an Evil Ash Deadite, yeah, a little disappointing. Make sure you check me out on Instagram, username Outside the Box Reviews. Also check me out on Facebook, link below. And until next time, this has been another Outside the Box Reviews. Hail to the king, baby.